All right, back again here on the Sort of Sports podcast, and I guess now's the time where I'm supposed to kind of get out the elephant in the room early. So if you're somebody who's just now found this podcast, you may have seen me. A friend of mine, thank you to Cross, for posting a video of me naming every NBA champion in order. He posted on TikTok. It got a bunch of views, and then Barstool reposted it. They added the caption that the teacher said I would get 100 if I named all of the teams or something to that effect. People keep asking if that's true. No, they added that caption. So I haven't put that out to the world. I don't want to kill the vibe yet. But no, they added that caption to kind of boost it, I guess. So if you somehow found this, I'm sorry to disappoint you immediately. Now, for those of you that are part of my original 60 subscribers, first of all, I really appreciate, because I don't know how you found me. That's very kind. But it's also funny because I was making jokes to my buddies. I'm like, well, I got to use this to plug the podcast. I got to use this to get people listening to the Sort of Sports podcast, because I've done this since sophomore year of high school. I've done this for a long time now. And fall 2020 is when I started. And it's just funny because I'm like, I think everybody who watched that video probably thinks I'm like this insane NBA knowledge guy. And it's like, I really like the NBA, but I prefer watching the NFL at this point. And if they come to my podcast, think it's going to be like a ton of NBA talk, and then it's like, what the hell are we doing discussing Sonic 3 and Quentin Tarantino movies? I did like an hour on Outer Banks one time. I just think it's funny. I'm like, hopefully no one's too disappointed, because you see that, you probably think I'm on here talking about advanced metrics, and I'm talking about season 3 of Outer Banks. But anyways, let's get into the Luka trade. One more thing I gotta address. Usually we would do 2 episodes about the Super Bowl. So we would do last week's episode, which is just like, okay, this is what the matchup's going to be, blah, blah, blah. Let's move into this week. We'll do a whole preview, and I make predictions and whatever. I don't care to do it. I just don't. This is the least excited I've been for the Super Bowl in a little bit. I do think the Chiefs are going to win. I honestly, at this point, would like the Chiefs to win. I think Mahomes will probably end up with Super Bowl MVP. They'll three-peat. So that's that. Next week, we'll do the wrap-up. We'll talk about everything that Super Bowl meant, but it doesn't make sense for me to record a podcast that's 3 minutes long. I've done that in the past for joke purposes, but I just don't. I don't think that's purposeful. So, not going to do that next week. So this week, I guess. So this will be the only podcast for this week. And then next week, we'll do Super Bowl wrap-up, everything that meant. And then I got a couple specialty pods coming up in between now and March Madness. So I did already put out a TikTok. I guess this is a good point to call out. I am on TikTok. You just search Ryan Klinger. I'm there. Same as my name on the YouTube channel, because that is my name. So check that out. I just gave my quick thoughts on the Luka Doncic trade. But let's get into it. Let's actually discuss. So the official deal is the Lakers got Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the Lakers' 2029 first-round pick. So my initial reaction was I get a text from a good buddy of mine in all caps, what is happening? And above it, I see Luka Doncic has been traded to the Lakers. It was an alert from ESPN. And I was driving with Genevieve, and I kind of stopped for a second, and I said, if what I just saw is real, I'm just going to ignore it, and we won't discuss it until we get home. Because at the time, we were talking about the Royal Rumble. Quick thing, very happy with the fact Jey Uso won. I wanted John Cena to win. I was actually upset at first that Jey Uso won. I've now kind of done a 180. I think it's really interesting. Because everybody always says, oh, we want less predictable booking from Triple H. Well, then he does something surprising. Everybody's like, boo, why didn't you give us what we want? And I'm like, what? We can't have it both ways, So he did do something unpredictable, and I give him credit for that, and Jay is extremely over. Now, would I have loved LA Knight? Of course. But Jey Uso is undeniably very popular, and I think it's a fun avenue to go down. I think it's really cool. And to be honest, I'm willing to bet John Cena suggested it. It seems like a very Cena thing to do. Anyways, back to the trade. And, of course, then Genevieve thought someone had died, so I had to explain what had happened. And her immediate reaction is what I think most people's was. which was, why would the Mavericks do that? And that's exactly how I feel. There was honestly a part of me, and I don't want to be this guy, but a part of me, like, there's this conspiracy that Adam Silver intervened, like, because you put one of the best players in the NBA on the Lakers with LeBron, it's going to boost ratings. Because it's true. I mean, I don't care to watch Lakers games. I haven't watched the Lakers in a decent amount of time. Just don't. I don't care to watch Lakers. Go Pistons. Like, that's, go Pistons, right? Next time the Lakers are on national television, I have to tune in. I have to. The first game Luka and LeBron play together will be the highest rated game in the regular season. I guarantee you that. Guaranteed. But, like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, do I truly in my heart believe that it's rigged, that they Adam Silver interfered and set this trade up? No, I don't. But I do think it's an intriguing point. Like, it is undeniable how handy this is and how convenient this is for the NBA, that the biggest brand in the NBA got one of the top 3 best players and paired him with LeBron James in a faltering Lakers year. I mean, that's just very convenient. But I don't want to be that guy. Maybe I shouldn't have even said it in the first place. But I'm being honest. I just wanted to give you my honest thoughts. That's my honest thought. Now let's move into the trade at large. My big piece is, so apparently the Mavericks wanted to go more defense, and they're concerned by Luka's habits, like health-wise. They don't think he's in good enough shape, blah, blah, blah. It did come out that the team they contacted originally was the Bucks. They wanted to do Giannis for Luka, which is like a 2K trade. That's actually in 2K, I don't even think it'd let you do that. Like, that's just stupid. Like, why would you? Oh, we want the second best player in the NBA for the third. Like, why? Like, the Ravens aren't going to trade Lamar for Joe Burrow, and the Bengals aren't going to do that either. Even if you think Lamar is better than Joe Burrow, and I do think Lamar's slightly better, right? Like, it just, like, why? Why? Unless, like, they were both exceptionally unhappy. But even then, it's just, like, weird. You just don't do that. So, like, the Bucks were never going to accept that. I mean, the conversation probably went, hey, so we would like to trade for Giannis. Click. Like, that was the conversation with the Bucks. So apparently, Rob Pelinka pulled off the masterclass of the century because he's completely fleeced the Dallas Mavericks. And I understand Anthony Davis is very good. I would say he's probably within, like, the 10 to 15 range. Best players in the NBA, he's in that range. I would put him out of the top 10, but he's close. That's where I'd say Anthony Davis is. He's probably second in defensive player of the year if you had to, like, if you lined it up. But I think the gap between him and Wemby is pretty decent. I really do. And you look at the haul in, like, Max Christie's good. I get that, but he's not. Luka Doncic is 25 years old. Luka Doncic has went to the NBA Finals as the best player on that team. Now, granted, they got, like, they got it handed to them, right? Like, they did obviously get it handed to them by the Celtics. I mean, they got swept in the finals. That's undeniable, right? Like, I will say, obviously, wasn't the best look for, right? It was a sweep, right? I'm checking this real quick. Like, I'm not bonkers, right? Like, they swept the finals, right? Playoffs. Oh, 4-1. Oh, good thing I checked. Yeah, they were up 3-0. And then Dallas got a win 122-84. Well, at least they made it a gentleman's sweep. Made it respectable. Wow. Interesting. Was the 2023 finals a sweep? Or am I crazy? I think that also went 5 games, right? I just want to check. Why can't I just find NBA? This is really funny because if you're somebody who just found this podcast because of me listing every NBA champion, you were probably very disappointed by the fact I have to look to see how many games it went. Yeah, I did not memorize how many games each one goes. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody. It was 4-1. So when was the last time we had a 4-0? Had to be 2018. Yeah, 2018 I know it was 4-0. Wow. Okay. I would have swore that last year was a sweep for some reason. Damn. Huh. Okay. Because I thought Nuggets Heat was a 5-game series. I really did. And I know the Warriors, like I know 2022 to 2021 were both 6 games. I'm trying to think, how far could I go back and know how many games it took? Off the top of my head, I don't think I could tell you what 2010, 2009, 2008, yeah. 2010 went 7 games. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, that was probably about as far back as I could do it. Okay. Anyways, back to this. So you go to the NBA Finals with a 25-year-old. I think everyone would pretty much unanimously agree that Luka Doncic is a top 5 player in the NBA. I think most people would give me the fact he's top 3 unanimously. I think pretty much everyone would agree with these stats. You just look at the base numbers. I mean, he has been in MVP voting every single year he's been in the league other than his rookie year. His rookie year, he basically won Rookie of the Year unanimously. I think Trae Young had, 2 votes? Yeah, I just looked at it. He had 2 votes. I remember that correctly. So he had 98 votes out of 100 for Rookie of the Year. He almost won unanimously. Ever since then, he was 4th in MVP voting in 2020, 6th in 2021, 5th in 2022, 8th in 2023, and 3rd in 2024. Consistently been top 10 in MVP voting. I think everyone would agree. I mean, if you boil it down in my mind, you say who are for the next 10 years, who do you think will be the 2 best players? It's Wemby, Luka. Those are the 2. I think you could try to get cute, and you could say Shea or Ant. I would love to say Cade Cunningham, but if I'm being honest with you, the 2 best guys of the next 15 years are probably going to be Luka and Wemby. I think I said 10 originally, but I'm saying 15 now. Well, 15 is a stretch because, 40-year-old Luka, that'd be, let's go 10. Let's go 10, right? For the next 10 years, it's Wemby and Luka. And I would say Wemby's the one, but that's also because he's like 7'4". And he's the best defensive player in the NBA in his second year. So, Wemby has to be number 1. And then Luka, he's just been incredible. I don't think anyone would trade him. I unless they know something we don't. Right? They're saying he wasn't the best shape, blah, blah, blah. Even with that, you just hold on to him. Because he's so good. He is so good. So good. And the other thing is, in the history of the NBA, we've never seen a player at this level of talent be moved without it being a demand. They chose to move off of him. And I think whenever franchises try to get too cute, and they try to be like, oh, well, we know better than everyone else, it does not work out. It does not work out. My roommate is not a sports guy at all. He saw the video of me online and thought that was funny, so now his feed has been filled up with more and more sports stuff. And he asked me, he's like, okay, so what's up with this Luka guy? Why is everybody so upset? And so, I explained to him, what was going on. And he's like, okay, well, how is that big of a deal? And I was like, honestly, he's a big Lord of the Rings guy. I said, who do you think is the top orc guy? Who's the biggest orc general? I'm going to have to Google this because I don't remember what the dude's name was. The orc general in The Hobbit. Azog. Right? Is that his name? He's a big Lord of the Rings guy, my roommate. So, let's see. Azog. Yes. So I was like, he was like, Azog? I was like, yeah, that bald guy in the Hobbit movies. He's a pretty big deal, right? He's one of the top orcs. He's the orc king, apparently. That's what it says on the one wiki to rule them all. He was the orc king of the Third Age, who commanded the tribes of Moria until his death. So he was responsible for the death of the dwarven king Thror, Thror, maybe? Anyways, I like Lord of the Rings, but I'm not at the point where I can name orc kings, I must admit. I was like, okay, imagine if Sauron and the Fellowship's like, let's make a deal. And they were like, we want Azog. And he's like, no. And they're like, okay, what if we give you Aragorn? He's like, yeah, sold. Like Azog's cool and all that, but he's not Aragorn. Like, Aragorn is a whole nother level of talent. Aragorn's a man. Aragorn gets it done. I mean, Aragorn is the rightful king of Gondor. Like, Aragorn's the man. So that was what I compared it to. I was like, yeah, Azog's cool and all that, but you want Aragorn. Like, it's not even close. That's how does Anthony Davis in my mind. Like, Anthony Davis is very good. Very good. But Anthony Davis is the second best player in a championship team talent. That's what he is. I think he was honestly maybe the most perfect fit-wise to LeBron James we've seen out of LeBron's like all-star level teammates. I think it was really perfect for LeBron to have like post-up guy who could also space the floor and rebound. I think if you were like sat down and said who is the perfect LeBron James teammate, you would come to the conclusion it's either like an Anthony Davis or like Steph Curry. Like, those are the two, I would say. Because if you give him a big man, he's got to be able to space the floor when LeBron drives, and that's what Anthony Davis could do. He could shoot the three outside, and that was big. But he could also post up. Because your argument with like KD is you're not going to get as many like post up, like beating and banging big stuff like you do with Anthony Davis. The other thing is Anthony Davis is so good defensively. That's big, right? I think Steph Curry, for obvious reasons, he could play make for LeBron, and he can catch and shoot. So those are really the two things you'd settle on. You would either want like Steph Curry or Anthony Davis. Those are the two ideal teammates for LeBron James. But 100 times out of 100, I do not care about the fit if I'm getting Luka Doncic. Because here's the thing. The Lakers could go really poorly the rest of the year. But the Lakers now know they have Luka Doncic. And they could try to extend him, get him to stay. And they now have a new franchise guy. Like, they would have this is just an absurd run from the Lakers. When you think that in their team's history, they've had, in their prime, we're not just saying ever, we're just saying guys in their, like, playing at an elite level, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. Just absurd. It's absurd. If you named the top 25 greatest NBA players of all time, the Lakers probably have 5 guys in there. I think the Lakers, right? I mean, Magic Johnson's probably second greatest point guard of all time, or the greatest, some people's opinion, right? Kobe Bryant, pretty much definitively the second best shooting guard ever. LeBron James, greatest small forward ever. Probably a lot of people would say he's the greatest player ever. I still think it's MJ, but obviously LeBron is up there. Shaquille O'Neal, if you said 5 greatest centers ever, he's one of them. If you said 3, he's probably in most people's list. If you said number 1, some people probably would have him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, same thing. I know you're like, well, you just put 2 centers there. I understand that, but I'm trying to illustrate the point that if you said 5, top 25 greatest players of all time, Lakers have 5, which is insane. And it's not like Jerry West is no slouch. It's not like Elgin Baylor's a slouch. Like, that's insane to me. And the Celtics have obviously been very successful too, but just from a pure talent perspective, the Lakers, I mean, my goodness, like the guys they get. And Rob Pelinka went from being made fun of all time to now pulling off one of the greatest heists in NBA history. And I know the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trade is huge for the Thunder. They get all those picks. They get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for just Paul George. That was crazy. But at the time, it made sense. This right now doesn't even make sense. And I think it will only look worse with time. Anthony Davis is 31 years old. He's been the second best player on a team that's went to the finals 1 time since he's been there. Luka Doncic has been to the finals the same amount of times as Anthony Davis. Now, granted, Anthony Davis won the finals. But Luka Doncic has been the same amount of times, and he was the best player on his team, on a significantly worse team, for what it's worth, too. I think the Mavericks aren't as good as that 2020 Lakers team. That 2020 Lakers team is pretty good. I mean, not the Mavericks are bad, but that 2020 Lakers team is pretty good. I think people forget. That was a good team. Not like an insane team. Like if they put them in the 2K retros, they wouldn't be like an elite pick, but they're pretty good. I guess there are some pieces I like more than I realize on that Mavericks team. They're not that incomparable. I take it back. That Mavericks team isn't significantly worse than the 2020 Lakers. I think I overstepped there. They're not significantly worse. But Anthony Davis had LeBron James. And Luka had Kyrie. Kyrie's good, but he's not LeBron James. And so it's just insane. It's insane. And if it's the conditioning thing, unless they know something we don't, like unless Luka's never going to be able to walk on his left foot again, there's 0 point in trading him. And I understand they think they're ahead of the curve. They think they're smarter than everybody else. They're not. I feel very confident in saying this is a bad move. And I think Luka was probably going to end up being the greatest Maverick ever. If he wins, if he had won one championship, right, and he was probably going to get at least 2 MVPs by the time he retired. I mean, before Jokic really popped off, we were all thinking Luka was going to be the guy to run the league. Like, he was going to win a ton of MVPs. He was going to have a finals. He's still only 25. He turns 26 in like 2 weeks. His birthday's like late February. LeBron James didn't win the finals till he was 27. Same with Michael Jordan. They both won their first finals at 27. Luka's 25. Going to be 26 by the end of the month. It is absolutely absurd to ever move off talent like that. And here's the thing. I really like the Lakers roster right now. I actually think it's a decent team. I do. Luka, if your starting lineup is Luka, Max, why did I say Max Christie? I meant to say Austin Reeves. I don't know why. Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Dalton Connect, and if they can get a better 5, that's a really, really nice starting 5. And talent-wise, it's a nightmare matchup. Because if Austin Reeves is your third best scorer, then you're doing something right. Because Austin Reeves is good. He's not all-star level good, but he's that tier right below all-star. And I think Austin Reeves is the guy you can't leave open all the time. So it's just going to be a matchup nightmare. Now, I know some people are like, well, Luka's really ball dominant, so is LeBron. How is this going to work? LeBron's not going to have to play make as much. Or, like, the thing is, Luka's going to be the point guard. He can initiate the offense, give the ball to LeBron. They can play off each other really nicely. And I think we're going to see Luka shift to more of a catch-and-shoot role. Because one of them will. One of them will have to stand there while the other is attacking the rim. And I'm willing to bet Luka will say, let me spot up. And I think that's going to work really well for Luka. I honestly think there was a period there where LeBron might have moved himself off the Lakers. And maybe this was a move by the Lakers to say, we're done with Clutch Sports, the agency that works with AD and LeBron. And they were going to move LeBron to the Warriors. Right? Maybe that was part of it. But then they went and got Luka, and LeBron was like, whoa. You got Luka? They're like, yeah. And they're like, okay, never, please don't. I'm here now. Don't. Because maybe that was it, right? Maybe this was the Lakers' move to reset. They were going to move off AD and LeBron. They're going to reset the team around Luka Doncic. It's just an absurd statement. The fact that this doesn't even feel real. Like, it doesn't. It's not even like people are like, it's a 2K trade. This wouldn't even go down in 2K. I mean, you've seen the posts online saying it wouldn't even go in 2K. Like, it's absurd. You guys know I really think highly of Luka Doncic. I actually think this Lakers team's really interesting. If people ask me my finals pick right now, I do kind of have to reevaluate. Because I felt like for a while it was going to be Knicks Thunder finals. Cavs always been really hot. I don't see it for back-to-back Celtics. I just don't. I love what my Pistons are doing, but you guys know I'd be pushing myself a little far if I tried to convince myself of a Pistons finals. But I mean, you look in a playoff series, and it's like, okay, they have LeBron and Luka. It's like, is it the best 1-2 in the NBA? That has to be, right? I'm going to pull up, like, right now. Let's think about this. Best 1-2 in the NBA. Okay. So let's look at the top 5 best players in the NBA. Jokic. His 2 is Murray. Not close. Okay. Giannis. His 2 is Dame. Not the worst. I will admit that might be second. But it's not LeBron and Luka. Okay. 4th best player in the NBA, probably at this point, is SGA, right? His second best is Chet Holmgren. That's pretty good. It's not LeBron James. It's not LeBron James. Obviously, Chet's hurt right now, but I'm saying. 5th best player in the NBA, I'd still give Steph Curry. I would. We all know he doesn't have... I mean, like, who's his second best player in the Warriors? I'm being serious. Who do we think? Is it still Andrew Wiggins? Lindy Waters the third? I'm just making a reference to that video. It's really funny. We'll give it to Andrew Wiggins. He's putting up like 17 a game. Yeah, that's got to be the best one, too, in the NBA. Like, I'm just looking at all the teams. I think one could try to say Booker and KD, but you're lying to yourself. You are a liar. Wait a minute. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Clippers? I'm just playing. It's just funny. Detroit basketball, though. Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, we're back. No, it's not, but I love what the Pistons are doing. Cade Cunningham, people are seeing the vision, like just how damn good he is. Play the Hawks tonight. If they win, I will continue to post that graphic I made that says you just got pissed on. I don't know why that isn't the Pistons slogan. It's perfect. For the Mavericks, I know people were like, oh, they want a defense. They wanted to win now. Let's go to the West, right? So right now they're 9 in the West. Let's say they make the playoffs. Either playing or not. But let's say they're not a top 5 seed. We'll say top 4. If they're the 5th seed, right now, they become the 5th seed. They're probably going to end up playing the Nuggets or the Clippers or the Lakers. One of those 3. I think I could convince myself to take the Mavericks over the Clippers. I think Jokic can still beat them. And I know it's a lot of faith in Jokic, but I have that much faith in Jokic. I do. Okay. If they're the 6th seed, there's a chance they go up against like the Rockets or the Grizzlies. Those teams are smacking them. They are. Like, maybe not the Rockets, but the Grizzlies would smack them. Like, it wouldn't. All right, 8th seed. You're going against the... that's not even a conversation. Like, we're not talking about this. Here's what I'm saying. In the West, teams I would take over the Mavericks in a playoff series, I would 100% take the Thunder. I would 100% take the Grizzlies. It would take me a second to think about it, but I'd probably take the Rockets or Nuggets. I know you're like, wow, dude, the Rockets have 32 wins. They're one of the best teams in the NBA record-wise. I get that. When was the last time the Rockets won a playoff series? Was it 2020? Was it when they beat the Thunder in 7 games? I think that was it. When like the Lou Dort emergence came out for the Thunder and like Chris Paul Thunder team. I'm being serious. Like that's... just saying, and it's like basically a whole new roster. I don't want to bet on all these young guys. It'd be cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying. And then it's like Nuggets, Lakers, Clippers, Timberwolves. It would just depend. I think I'd take the Mavericks over the Timberwolves in a playoff series, but, maybe Ant just locks in and puts up 30 to 40 every night, and that's that. Like, that can also happen. So, yeah, that's my piece. Lakers, if they... Hell, I'm not going to lie. I might take them. It's hard to bet against that. If the Lakers play the Rockets in the playoffs, I'm taking the Lakers. Maybe you think that's crazy. I don't. A lot of times with playoff series, you boil it down, the team with the better player wins. Let's look back at last year's playoffs, right? And I know there are obviously injuries, et cetera, et cetera. Let's just look back on the NBA playoffs from 2024. Okay, here we go. First round, we had Thunder Pelicans. Who's the best player in the series? SGA. Thunder won. Next up, Clippers Mavericks. Who's the best player in the series? Luka Doncic. Mavericks won. Next series, Timberwolves Suns. Who's the best player in the series? Anthony Edwards. Timberwolves won. Next series, Nuggets Lakers. Who's the best player in the series? Nikola Jokic. Nuggets won. Next up, Thunder Mavericks. Who's the best player in the series? Luka Doncic. Mavericks won. Timberwolves Nuggets. Who's the best player in the series? Nikola Jokic. But Timberwolves did end up winning. It was obviously a crazy series. That was a big deal. But that Timberwolves team was built to beat the Nuggets. It was. And then when they ran into the Mavericks, who have the better player, they lost. Mavericks beat them going on to the finals. Let's go over to the East. Celtics Heat. Who is a better player? Celtics, Jason Tatum. They won. Cavs Magic. Who is a better player? I love Paolo Banchero. I would love to say it's Paolo Banchero. But it probably is Donovan Mitchell. Cavs won. All right, let's go to the next series, right? I mean, let's move on. We got Pacers Bucks. Giannis was hurt. Okay. Tyrese Halliburton or Damian Lillard is what we're boiling it down to. And I mean, Dame got hurt during the series, but it's the Pacers. Like, I think Tyrese Halliburton was genuinely outplaying Damian Lillard then. So I'm taking the Pacers, right? We got Knicks Sixers. Who's the best player in the series? Honestly, the Embiid stuff is just such a mess. So I'm just going to say Brunson. But if you want to say Embiid, fine. Then it's a freak accident that the Knicks beat him. But the Knicks beat him. Let me get Pacers Knicks. I would say the best player in that series is Brunson for my money. Pacers did get it done, but the Knicks had a bunch of weird problems because everybody was getting hurt because they played so many damn minutes there. Celtics Cavs. Best player in the series, Jason Tatum. Celtics win. Pacers Celtics. Best player in the series, Jason Tatum. Celtics win. Then we get a Mavs Celtics NBA Finals. And the best player in that finals is Luka Doncic. He obviously did not win. He lost in 5 games. And now he's a part of the Los Angeles Lakers. But that obviously wasn't true when it came to the finals. But my point being, in the majority of situations, we ran through all the situations. What was it, like 2 situations? Where, from last year's playoffs, where the team with the best player didn't win. It just doesn't really happen. So it's just hard for me to feel like it's a good move for the Mavericks. I understand, like, maybe Luka's in terrible shape, but I think this is the best thing that could happen to Luka because it's going to piss him off. Apparently, he's heartbroken by it. He's very upset. And now he's going to take basketball probably more seriously than ever. I think it's going to really make him mad. And we're going to see him play the best basketball of his career. And now he's going to have the LA Laker media push, which is absurd because now, he's going to be talked about more. He's going to have better odds to be the MVP. He's going to be more popular. Like, what was it? Kyle Hamilton tweeted out those Lakers Luka Doncic jerseys are going to be insane at college parties. Yeah, they are. Those things are going to be everywhere. If I'm Adam Silver, I'm marketing this as soon as possible. Push it hard. It's not like Dallas is a small market, but now he's on the Lakers. I mean, hell, just put him on the cover of 2K26. I know he's on 2K22, but he's Luka. He's obviously super good. Let's do it again. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting once he comes back. Hopefully he comes back very soon because I want to see him play with LeBron, and I want to see what this Lakers team could do in the playoffs because this is a team I don't think anyone would want to face. It'd just be a real pain. But De'Aaron Fox went to the Spurs. That was cool. Zach LaVine's now on the Kings. Bulls didn't really get much in return. Really sucks for the Bulls, honestly. But my big piece with all that is really excited for the Spurs. I hope they can get in the play-in this year. And if they do, I will 100% get them to sneak into the playoffs. I think that team's really interesting. And I like Castle, and I like De'Aaron Fox with Wemby a lot. And they still managed to keep Chris Paul, which is really nice. So it's just, I think I really like what the Spurs are doing. But it feels like nothing because they didn't get Luka Doncic. Like, it's absurd. All right, that's all from me. If this was the first episode you ever listened to, I appreciate it. And if this is the last episode you're going to listen to, thanks for stopping by, right? I mean, I'm not really, I don't want to be an angry guy. I mean, it's your choice. You don't have to do this. I mean, you don't have to listen to any of this. You could just read books. I've been recently reading Blood in the Garden. It's all about the 90s New York Knicks from Chris Herring. Chris Herring from Sports Illustrated, who wrote it. It's very good. So if you want to, I don't know if he still works for Sports Illustrated, but at least he used to. But it's really good if you want to check that out. Good book about basketball. But all right, that's all from me. Luka's going to be probably better than ever now, which is just a scary thought. I also remember a while back, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, it would be kind of interesting if LeBron could get one more. Like, is it weird that I kind of think I'm not even a big LeBron guy, but I must admit, it's just going to be weird if his career just kind of peters off and he never gets to the finals like that. His last final was in front of nobody. Like, his last championship win was in front of an empty crowd. Like, that just feels wrong for one of the greatest players ever. Maybe it won't be, right? I mean, I don't think this Lakers team on the paper right now would make the finals and win it, but it's maybe it's moving in that direction, right? It's very intriguing. That's all from me. I will see you all next week. Talk about what happened in the Super Bowl. I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP. I hope it's a really great game, though. And that's it. See you all in the next one. I appreciate it if you just found me. Thanks for stopping by.